Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got finished watching the new Spike Lee film on Netflix, Da 5 Bloods, which stars Chadwick Boseman, Delroy Lindo, and several other talented actors, as they happen to tell a very ambitious story with a runtime of 2.5 hours that never manages to be boring even for a second. So let's get to the story, shall we? The story is about 4 Vietnam War veterans who are all African American, who all head to Vietnam in the present day in order to accomplish 2 goals: to find the body of their commander, Stormin' Norman, played by Chadwick Boseman in flashbacks, and to find a huge amount of gold that they found while in Vietnam and chose to hide away until the right moment and they're trying to get that gold to fulfill that promise from back then. And Jonathan Majors appears in the film as our main character Paul's son David, who also tags along with the old men for his own purposes. So, this film happens, as expected from a Spike Lee film, is loaded with commentary on the Vietnam War, black politics at the time, and has several controversial and boundary-pushing scenes that are probably bound to make some people uncomfortable, even with the R rating being firmly in place. But I think this is actually one of his best films overall, mainly because there's a huge sense of humanity and a sense of camaraderie and brotherhood through the entire thing. The 4 old men who make up the majority of the film's best scenes all portray their roles very well, and I'm surprised I haven't seen those actors in a lot of films beforehand. Delroy, in particular, who plays Paul, is probably one of the most emotionally complex and one of the most hard to pin down characters I've seen all year, where he's easily the most tormented of the soldiers that are coming back. He can say certain things that can make you absolutely disgusted with him, but also can make you sympathize with him at the same time. Sometimes both can happen in the same scene, and you can tell that a lot of what he's going through is based on the torment that went on in the war, and his close relationship with Stormin' Norman, who is essentially presented as the closest thing this movie has to a superhero. Possibly because Chadwick Boseman is also Black Panther, but he's essentially portrayed in the film as a holy man who promises he'll get his brothers through the war by any means necessary, who teaches our heroes about history and about the Bible and all that stuff. And he's essentially portrayed as the living embodiment of all that is good and righteous in the world. So you can easily see why these old men look up to him and want to, find his body and get him back to his rightful country. Plus, seeing several talented Vietnamese actors put on screen is definitely appreciated, and I hope a lot of those actors, such as Vin, the guide that our main characters have, I hope they do well in their careers in the future. Plus, Terrence Blanchard, the same composer for Spike Lee's other big hit, BlacKkKlansman, returns for this film, and it gives for possibly one of my favorite soundtracks of the entire year. And Spike Lee, despite the fact that his films have never been ones for big budgets or major action set pieces, still managed, despite that, this film happens to have some of my favorite action scenes I've seen all year. Bloody, brutal, and full of raw energy, they happen to essentially feel like a Spike Lee rendition of the Rambo movies, with Boseman obviously being the main star in a lot of those action scenes. But even some that take place during the present day have a lot of physicality and a lot of brutal effects, especially considering the age of the men that are involved in this production. It's very impressive. So overall, Da 5 Bloods is certainly an important film for this time. Couldn't have come out at a better time, and I hope it happens to qualify for the best for the Oscars this season. So that's why I'm going to give Da 5 Bloods a 9.5 out of 10. Make sure you don't miss it.